Although Rider Rohan is a well-known high elf main, that doesn't stop him from branching out into other factions. Today we're going to see him take a well-approved Empire build into the Dark Elves. Well-approved, of course, because it comes with 3 Pistoliers, so it comes pre-approved. We've also got a Grenade Launcher Outrider as well. Karl Franz leading the way, a couple of Empire Knights, some Spearmen, a couple of Great Swords as well for anti-infantry AP, Great Cannon, Jade Wizard, and the Regiment of Renown, Demigryph Knights, Royal Altdorf, Griffites. As for the Dark Elves, coming at you with Malekith and some Black Ark Corsairs, a couple of them, 3 Spears, 5 Dark Shards with shields, so a lot of, infantry skirmish here. And to protect them, we've got plenty of Dark Riders and some Cold One Knights as well. So we'll get things rolling with the cannon opening fire on the Cold One Knights and a little bit of skirmish action. Pistoliers taking some volleys from those shielded Dark Shards. Of course, Dark Shards 125 range, obviously outranges the Pistoliers, but still with all this cavalry over here, Rider Rohan kind of taking a flanking position to threaten, just to overwhelm in here and try and take out some of these skirmish units. Dark Shards are definitely going to be very dangerous in this high of volume, especially. Even if you shut down a few of them, the others can just turn and fire, and Dark Elf players done a great job of spreading them out here so that they won't all get compromised at the same time. I do admire, though, and I don't know if Rider Rohan learned this from me, or if he just learned this because he's a high elf main and is used to using Illyrian Reavers, who are actually a real hybrid cavalry, but the Pistoliers are going to get put into melee here a little bit, and although they will interrupt the Dark Shards momentarily, allow Karl to get in here and just smash a Spearman. They are going to put themselves in pretty severe danger as well. One of them just gets wrecked by Dark Shard fire, but most of them manage to pull back and actually return fire somewhat. Those Empire Knights in the backline also getting swarmed, but Karl here in an absolute duel with Malekith ends up taking some serious damage, but dishing some serious damage in return. Let's see if either of the lords actually falls in this engagement. Karl's going to eat a regrowth here. Dark Riders and Empire Knights both charging in. Meanwhile, we've got a nice infantry engagement developing across the main line. Royal Altdorf Griffites charging in, trying to find a gap to come in and support this engagement. Meanwhile, the Great Cannons have got some damage on the Cold One Knights, but they're immediately going to swarm in and collapse that. Some reserve Great Swords and Spears are going to respond to this, perhaps, but not in time to actually save the cannon. Karl also taking more damage from the Dark Shards there. But Empire Knights end up winning out against that massive Dark Riders. They lack the AP to win, and of course some of them get distracted killing Pistoliers and the Grenade Launcher Outriders, which again, definitely a signature move for sure. Anyway, the Altdorf Griffites and Karl actually push back Malekith here. It's quite a bit for him to have to deal with, but the swarm of Dark Riders plus the Dark Shards is actually quite dangerous to the Altdorf Griffites. They're going to try and disengage and maybe get out and start to cut down some of those Dark Riders. Big power spike from Murderous Prowess goes off. If we say, as we take a wide view here, this infantry engagement still happening. Great Swords trading pretty decently into a lot of this infantry, although the Corsairs and Cold One Knights also punching back pretty hard. Malekith continuing to flee from Karl as the Pistoliers are in hot pursuit. The regrouped Empire Knights just collapsing on some more Dark Shards here. And if we kind of take inventory of the Dark Shards, we've got 3 relatively healthy here, another one out on the far side. So still quite a bit of killing power left there for the Dark Elves. And Empire Knights coming back from chasing Dark Riders are going to collapse 2 of them here. We'll get in some nice cinematic shots, which we haven't got too much of, although this battle is quite epic. There's just a lot going on all over the field, so I want to keep you guys on a high-level view. We'll soak up some of this beautiful, bright, shining Empire armor. Totally not biased, guys, by the way. Just kidding, I am very biased. Karl is going to pop Galmaraz here and go on to hunt the Witch King some more, but Malekith's got some more tricks up his sleeves. He's got Cold One Knights in the near area. Dark Shards also actually don't have really much of an opportunity to fire, so if Malekith doesn't have a Soul Stealer here, he might actually fall, but oh yeah, Karl does manage to get one more hit to actually break Malekith. He's down, 400 HP or so, fleeing in the wrong direction. Can Karl actually get the kill? Looks like he missed on that attack, and he is himself getting swarmed by a lot of Dark Riders. We've got, but Malekith does go down. Cold One Knights do not get in there in time to save him. That said, I mean, the balance of power is still going to stay pretty close And certainly, yeah, basically dead even as the Cold One Knights collapse here. And the Altar Griffiths and Carl are both getting quite low. We've got a handful of tattered greatswords and spearmen also fighting out on this flank. A few more trusty Empire Knights as well, but all of that skirmish cav has been basically neutralized. And yeah, we do have some Dark Riders coming back, and this is a situation that can start to turn really dangerous for the Empire. Their mobility, if it gets too spread out and strung out, especially as these Dark Shards come back from route, they can, you know, start to focus fire and get some really punishing volleys in the late game. So one of the reasons why this balance power, I think, is still so close is that the Dark Shards are quite healthy and have quite a bit of ammunition. Got these cavalry getting set here, but Martyr Rohan is also doing a good job of keeping his cavalry together in a nice kind of cohesive group. Try and just shut units down and not get too spread out, because if he does, that will be an absolute death sentence. But Dark Riders being sacrificed into the Demigryph Knights here. Definitely a brutal affair for them. Carl also going to charge into the Dark Shards. And the Empire able to effectively terrify away that unit of crossbowmen. Dark Riders also having serious issues with terror, as there is two very scary, very strong terror units here. The Altdorf Griffites have been just shredding up value, and receiving buffs from Carl as well. That Reichland Runefang puts them up to 67 melee attack, so they can get consistent hits against infantry, even despite them being an anti-large unit. And a few more greatswords also over here, just continuing to kind of pressure this infantry that's coming back from route. Corsair's going to get a little charge, and those floppy hat boys, ooh, they do love to chop those big old Corsair cone heads. Although the dual-sworded Corsairs, of course, will punch back decently, but it's a lot of greatswords, and greatswords are a great counter. As mentioned, yeah, Altdorf Griffites also, and Carl continuing to sweep some units. So the problem with the Dark Elves is they weren't really able to ever get set with these Dark Shards. Rider Rohan is doing a great job of just keeping the pressure up, not allowing them to kind of unify and get good focus fire. And I think from the Dark Elves perspective, and I'm not sure about the player here, how he was microing these, but I would generally advise that you put all of your infantry skirmishers in a build like this on one control group, even if you're microing them separately for the most part. Just allows you to get a quick focus fire order, and I mean the spread helped them stay safe for longer, but it also meant that they couldn't bring all of the crossbows to bear against high value targets at the right time, like Carl or the Demis. But it's still going to end up being very, very close. The Empire is starting to take the edge here as they're able to catch out a lot of these kind of isolated Dark Elf units, utilizing that mobility advantage they have at this point to just shut down. And this unit of Dark Shards right here was the healthiest, had the best chance to still get something done, but despite the best efforts of the Dark Elves, it's not going to be enough. One more charge of the Empire Knights into the Dark Riders, Carl and the Demis. And foul, craven elves, of course, cannot stand against the might of the Empire in such a situation. Shortly will be, yeah, giving it up. I don't know. Anyway, there was one more unit of Dark Shards about to get some really nasty volleys there. But yeah, it ended up being pretty close, honestly. I think if the Dark Shards even do okay, they, for the most part, pay for themselves. I mean, pretty close. But tactically, I mean, these two high-value units surviving so long was definitely a big problem. Malekith had a really tough time really landing anywhere on the ground because of these two. Carl himself, of course, carrying a huge amount of value. All Griffites also pay for themselves. The greatswords, you know, they help win the infantry fight, which is certainly something. Or maybe not win the infantry fight, but trade it. Empire Knights also do a great job of supporting various engagements. Skirmish Cavalry, yeah, they got slaughtered, but that's okay, because the rest of the build was able to carry through. Great Cannon also. I mean, I get why you bring it, just for safety, but Dark Elf player here was able to rush it down fairly effectively. And of course, Malekith does get a huge amount of value, although he gets sniped. Tactically, that's tough, but he definitely did enough, I think. The Cold One Knights also do a great job. Dark Riders get some decent value all across the board. Yeah, 1,000 value on a 500 cavalry is awesome. And the Dark Shards themselves also, or the Dread Spears, I mean, yeah, I promise I know these things. they do okay. A lot of the value is inflated because Empire is healing a lot of high-value units. So overall, you know, you'd kind of have to decrease all these values by like 5-10% to get a real measure. But still, pretty good build overall. I don't know if I would change too much, except maybe cut one of the dark shards for bolt throwers so you get some long-range pressure. I'm not sure. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.